Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we're here. Welcome to another live show of Paranoid Times. What do they do that for? Hopefully, we'll have an interesting night. Um, Once again, Tuck is here to join us. He got finished with his bus trip, and he is. Where you at now again?
I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I'm
Uh,
about 15 miles from Duncannon, which is where the AT is.
for reference, if you hear any audio issues like normal, please tell me. I tried working on them today. Done a test server. I think I got everything situated, kinda, maybe. But we can make adjustments on the fly. If you can't hear him, or you can't hear me, or if you hear some weird stuff going on, please tell me. I see you in there. All right, let's see. You were talking about the
Troll Army?
yeah, the troll army.
Okay, so, I used to have a really thin skin with the trolls, man, and sometimes they get in my head and mess with me.
All right, hold on
Like,
1 minute. Let me put your volume up. Somebody says you're not sounding great. All right, go ahead and say.
so anyways, one of my moderators started managing the trolls, and he started having this rule. It's like, look, you want to troll, that's fine. We enjoy you, because trolls, they like all the comments that they leave and the spamming and shit. It actually benefits you because it brings more people in, but you kind of got to rope them in a little bit. Um, and if they're entertaining, you banter back with them, and you give them kind of kudos. So you kind of you're in a way, it's kind of acceptance for them being douchebags, but at least they're an entertaining douchebag. And so I got one troll that became a he became like a super fan, and he helped me wrangle a few other trolls. And so, like, when Bushcraft was like messing with me and stuff like that, I just send my troll army to attack. So if you just got to put a rule to the trolls, just tell them to be entertaining, kind of like you've seen Clint Eastwood when he's in the jail cell in Heartbreak Ridge.
Yeah, yeah.
Beat me, make me, anything, just don't bore me. That's kind of the yeah, that was kind of the attitude we took towards them. Say what you want, but at least entertain me.
I'm still adjusting your audio. The friend of mine says you sound like you're in the back of a room.
Um, is this better?
That sounds much better.
Okay, so apparently my speakerphone's having issues.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better on my end now.
Yeah.
I think that was the issue.
All right. But I wanted to sound like I was in the back of the room.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like when you do that, and I do this, and I got everything fixed, and then it sounds like that. I'm not sure if everything's working correctly again. That's what we
Oh,
want.
okay.
That's what we want. All right, good. Yay, yay, hooray! What's my there? All right. I hit applause. Okay. I didn't hear it. I mean, they did. I didn't. Okay, so yeah, you can go. So yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, having a either self-made or created troll army on from YouTube is a good idea. I mean, I
It's
don't
fun.
I don't see anything wrong with it. If they're going to come in and mess with you, and I, yeah, they can be horrible sometimes. And they do say some bad things about the creators. I mean, if they don't want to be there, I don't see why they're not there. But they do pop in, and you know,
Yeah,
believe it or
those are
not,
the
they do.
people.
They actually do help your YouTube channel to some degree.
Yeah, I have those pop in too, and I just tell them quit being lame. I mean, if you're gonna at least troll me, be entertaining. That way because then you let them know it doesn't affect you. Even if it does, it's kind of like your stone face.
Yeah.
You just tell them to quit being so boring, and it's
Well, I
just
mean,
fun.
I don't really ever really entertain them, other than letting them, um, talk amongst themselves, unless they do say something that is like really out of line, or the system don't flag it.
Yeah, I don't know. I engage with them. At least I'll at least acknowledge them. That's just me though. I kind of like with my community. I always make sure to go through and answer like all the chats, even the trolls, and I'll just call the trolls out for being either stupid or lame, or I
Yeah.
can insult them right back, and it's usually like something short and just keep moving on because like what do I care? You don't pay my bills. You don't put the roof over my head. Or the hammock underneath me. So what do I care?
Um, Chat. Hopefully, I won't be too loopy tonight. I mean, I did take some other antihistamines. I didn't take Benadryl, but I took one of the older ones, and I took a half of Lopidine, I think it is. Um, at least my arm isn't bothering me, so that's a good thing, I guess. But for some reason, I feel like I need a cough. I don't know. I'm going to the doctor next week. I have no choice in the matter. But I wanted to, real quick, I wanted to touch on the bee update. And some of you, whoever tuned into it or whatever, they know I was talking about bees in a cemetery. Well, some people seem to think I was talking about a mausoleum. No, I'm not talking about a mausoleum. I'm talking about graves, actual graves. Um, and yes, those bees are pollinators. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about was when I made the video, someone reached out to me, and it is a sound guy that lives in that city. And he told me something, well, at least I found interesting. He says if you go to that cemetery at night, now it only seems to happen at night. See, these bees are nocturnal. That the graves literally pulsate. You can hear them in there.
Wow.
No. These bees don't make honey. They use pollen, and they eat like leaf matter and stuff. They're burrowing bees. Very similar to like wood borers almost. I would want to say, but
So
they seem like they would be aggravating, and especially 5 million of the damn things. I mean, but I mean, the guy he seems to think it's just extremely weird. He's actually taken audio equipment out there, and he's gotten sounds of it. And he says the graves, the old graves out there, I mean, literally pulsate like loudspeakers. It's wild. So I mean, those bees are in those graves, regardless of what you want to say. They're in those graves. There was a lot of people that was arguing that, well, these bees are in the ground, they're not in the graves. But no, they're in the graves. They're crawling all through the ground there. They're, per square foot, this is the largest nest that there has ever been. And, we're making the argument that, and the reason I found it interesting is if, nature tells us things. We know this. We've seen this. We've seen this over and over and over and over again where, you know, there would be a what's the word I'm looking for? A series of events circling together, culminating, or there's another word for it.
kind of like how they say death comes in threes.
Um,
It's kind of like how they say death comes in threes.
yeah, death comes in threes, or like if you're a fan of the Bible, you know how like when everything was happening, and you started seeing all of the the plagues and the prophecies and everything else. Well,
Yeah.
you had all these natural events that was happening, and it was leading up to something big. Even if it was like we were talking about maybe an eruption or something like that, it, um, but something was occurring, and there is definitely something probably going to occur in that area. That's a sign. Like when you go, out to the ocean, and when you're, like when whales wash up on the beach, or when those, what they call, end of the world fish, those gigantic, big, ugly fish that stay in the bottom of the ocean, and they wash up on shore sometimes. It was supposed to be an omen, and we seen a bunch of those here lately.
Huh. Well, we're doing some serious damage to nature. I mean, you don't get to see, just like when you make a change in economic policy, you don't get to see the results for like 4 years or more. Sometimes it takes 20 years to really see the full impact of one economic policy change before you can actually decide whether it was actually successful or not. Nature's the same way. I mean, the things that we've been doing to it for so long, and then the genetic modifications, the cloud seeding, all that stuff. Eventually nature is going to feel attacked, and it is going to respond.
Well, I mean that's how it's supposed to work. I mean, I believe um,
What?
that nature responds to stimuli, just like we do. You know,
Mm.
at some point, nature, the earth, or whatever, is going to have to treat us like a cancer.
I think it already's come to that point, at least from what I've been reading. Now, I know it's out on the fringe, but supposedly, the Earth, because we're all tied through collective consciousness, in some way, and so the Earth is actually uh, part of creating this psychosis that we've been seeing in society. This is part of what it's doing to fight back. Eventually, the animals will come and start attacking us as well.
I mean, I've read books where it says that might happen, and I mean, we're starting to see changes in the animal population. Here recently, I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but it's maybe I can pull it up online. Now, well, let me just talk about it. There's a group of chimpanzees in Africa, and they have literally learned. There's literally a civil war between two
Yeah, you
groups
were
of
talking about
yeah,
that.
two groups of. I heard more about it today. They're literally patrolling. They have areas, and if one area gets into another, then that's when stuff pops off. And I mean, have we shown them how to wage war, or or is it to it? Well, let me try to get this out correctly. Have they evolved to a point like we have that you get to you get to a point that if that you just think if anybody messes with us, we're going to go to war with them.
Um, what I've learned, what I've got to read, is are you familiar with the finding of Ardipithecus?
Artifices.
Ardipithecus. It was a discovery documentary. It's the oldest fossil that they found, and this is where they start connecting man and ape as far as the split goes. And then, like, at the end of that one, they found one that's like another million years older than that. I think she's like 2.2, and he's like 3.5 or something like that. So they found some of this, and it took them like 20 years to excavate it. So are you familiar with that?
It sounds familiar, but I mean, I'm drawing a
It
blank, and
It's
actually,
about the late 90s.
I got a little distracted. Someone in chat said, oh, a friend of mine in chat said that, do you believe in the hundredth theory? And it's
Oh yeah,
the hundredth monkey
I
theory.
yeah, I know that one. I actually That's how they discovered collective consciousness.
The hypothesis suggests a new behavior and idea that spreads instantly in all related groups. Once critical number 100 members have adopted it.
Yeah, yeah. Once 10 monkeys do it, then the other 100 do it because it becomes common knowledge. Uh, um, that's how they discovered collective consciousness because yeah, they were teaching them how to wash off like grapes or something or coconuts after they've done a nuclear blast so that they didn't get so much radiation.
Now, see, I don't know if I've heard of that one, but I have heard of the other one they're talking about here called the infinite monkey theorem, which is a mathematical concept stating that monkeys hitting keys randomly on a typewriter for an infinite amount of times will eventually type the complete works of William Shakespeare.
Okay.
I mean, which is, you know,
Law of averages says so. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. No. Uh.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I believe memory is genetic. We have been talking about that a couple of times since we started the podcast.
Yeah. But getting back to Ardipithecus. So what they're actually so Darwin was proven wrong a long time ago, but the thing is now what they're
I
finding
would
out
say I
is
would say aspects of Darwin was proven wrong. Now,
okay.
yeah,
I'll give you that.
Darwin was a very Darwin was autistic. Let's put it that way. He
He
was
ventured out there.
yeah he was he could see and understand and see things. Now I'm not saying he got everything right, and I'm not saying he hit everything on the money, but I'm saying he was getting in that lane.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing with Ardipithecus is it shows that man and ape split. It's not that man devolved or evolved from ape or vice versa. Basically, what they found is that the savannah wasn't actually a savannah. It was actually a very lush rainforest at the time, and and so those that could walk upright were able to carry more things, and so therefore it became like a sexual reproduction, for the species, and the women started standing up, and then there became a split because they originally, I think, it had like 6 fingers or something like that, and their hands were like apes, but their feet were like humans, and they had some ape features in their face, but you could tell that she was walking partially upright.
Are you talking about the one that they found frozen? Was it Lucy?
No,
Before that.
no. Yeah, I think, yeah, before Lucy, I think. Like I said, this documentary came out by Discovery in the late '90s.
No, you gotta, we, what, like we talked about before, you gotta be real careful with Discovery because they like to embellish.
Um, that's possible, but as far as the dating and the science, I mean, it sounds like with other things that I've read, it seems to line up.
Well, I mean,
Um,
now, let me rephrase myself about Discovery Channel. Okay, they do like they'll take the scientific idea, they'll take the basic scientific idea, or they may take a complete work or something like that, and they will expand upon it. Sometimes they like to. I mean, well, it's just like with anything. I mean, you have a literal TV station, and they got to bring in a crowd, so they make it entertaining. I mean,
yeah,
it's just like with Ancient Aliens. You get on Ancient Alien. I mean, did I ever tell you that they wanted me to come on Ancient Aliens?
no,
Oh God, I did a story. It's about the caves in Mexico, that where the artist went in and he redesigned everything, and but anyway, they wanted me to come in there, and they wanted me to like embellish this and talk about this, and yeah, they wanted me to like just throw this out there and show it off, and I started asking questions, and I was and I got real deep in it, and I mean, I was going to go do it. I mean, I thought, okay, this could be great for my channel. It'd be great for me, and I'd be able to meet some of these people, and maybe I can make some connections, and maybe I can kind of do it right. But they didn't really want me to do it right. But anyway, I started talking to some of the quote unquote roadies, the people that you know traveled with them and did the setups and stuff like that. Um, and they told me that like after the show, that they would all gather in a hotel room and it would just be this wild party. I mean, we're talking everything. I mean, if I were to go, I would end up getting that party on camera, and it wouldn't have been good. It would not have been good. Of course,
huh?
I mean, I would have been bad too, but still, I mean, like I said, it just wouldn't have been good. I mean, can you imagine the guys on Ancient Alien high and coked out of their minds?
Have you ever been to Hollywood?
Yes, I have. I mean,
So you know
I mean,
all the parties are fucking wild.
but I know. I mean, I get that, but I mean, that's just not how they're portrayed. And some of these people on Ancient Aliens are portrayed as these illiterate and um, high end scientists, and they're not. They're not. I mean, I know some of the people they brought on the show, and I mean, and they have told me, and this is like a constant thing with that show. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. It just popped in my head.
Oh no, I mean, I like I said, I was like, 18 and I'd watched it. I thought, wow, that's interesting. That completely changes it. And just like things that I've read over the years kind of, reinforces that. It might be confirmation bias. It might actually not be. But, that would fit a lot better because one species doesn't evolve while the other one devolves. And the reason why I even with apes and humans is that the apes are technically more militaristic to begin with. So them having a civil war, it probably happens every so many hundreds or thousands of years because of either the crowding, it could be food scarcity, or it could just be they just tend to be militaristic. So I wouldn't put too much stock in it, in the sense that like it doesn't completely concern me. It raises a flag, but I pay attention to it, but I wouldn't be too concerned about it. That's just my opinion.
Oh no, I mean, I just see it as a. I mean, when I see stuff like that, I wonder if there is some type of shift in our. I don't know if there's like a greater conscience or something that attaches to everybody or everything. I wonder if it attaches to animals. I mean,
Um,
ever since I was a kid, I mean, I asked the question, does when my dog or when my cat dies, does it go to heaven? Does it have a soul? All that stuff, and every kid will ask those things.
mhm.
I mean, it's just something that happens, and the only way, and we see the behaviors in animals and them mimicking us and acting like us. But the other thing about the whole military, you know, the militarized actions of these chimpanzees and these groups of monkeys and stuff. I mean, I would want to know how much are they exposed to us? How have they been exposed to us? What have they seen
Well,
from us? Um, because if this is a natural thing, then it's just something that they do. If it's something that they're seeing, then maybe they're repeating it. Maybe there's guerrilla warfare and stuff going on, and they're watching this stuff and they're learning and they're doing other things. I mean, there's been plenty of cases where you know here recently that monkeys and primates and things have started using tools very differently, started making their own tools. I mean, you almost
maybe
wonder if,
we're going to Planet of the Apes.
huh?
Maybe they're evolving.
Well, I mean, I mean, if we, okay, if evolution is correct, okay, let's just throw everything out there, throw the hypothesis out there. If, okay, and see, this is the thing that either proves or disproves evolution. One, if evolution is correct, then at some point, the primates that are on the planet, one of their generations will evolve to be just like us, which means they will do the things just like us, which means they will make fire. They will, they will go on to learn to talk and learn to do other things. But we have not seen that unless things like Bigfoot or whatever or the next step. I don't think they are. Okay. I think I don't think we would go from a chimpanzee to or a orangutan or whatever into a much larger standing creature like Bigfoot. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But
Unless it was genetically modified
well, now I mean that's what
to make
we.
a humanoid that just went wrong.
But now I mean I'm talking I'm still we yeah we ain't got there yet. I mean I'm still talking about evolution. I'm talking about just a series of events with no with no one doing anything to us, and we're just moving along, and we turn into that. Okay, you know,
Hmm.
when they teach you evolution, the basis of evolution, they don't say an alien comes down and makes it happen, or they don't say somebody or a spirit or something causes it to happen. They just say that they just say that at some point man went from here to here, um, and we haven't seen that. So
But
that,
we
that
also have gaps in our history too.
well yeah. I,
Gaps in evolution, things that are unexplained. Where it's just like all of a sudden there's a jump.
but I mean, what's in that jump though?
It could be outside interference. Um, I think that this whole ape thing is going to go one of two directions. Either through evolution, it's going to become more peaceful, or they might wipe us out before AI does, wipe out AI to fucking to save themselves, and become a militant species that evolves into being able to like do be spacefaring and become an aggressive planet instead of a lesser aggressive planet. You know what I mean? Because I
No,
mean, for them to wipe.
that would be funny if the apes rise up and take out AI. But I mean, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. That they're way too far behind for that to happen. But that they just couldn't happen. I mean, I mean, by the time AI is in control, if it does get in control, and we live in like a matrix type world, I can guarantee you there's not going to be an animal one on this planet.
I disagree. Each animal is needed for its actual process of nature. By taking that out, you basically eliminate the planet, and the planet will not. Will I mean, it has survival instincts.
Well, I mean, it does, but I mean, if you have a supercomputer, all right, if evolution is the next step of humanity, and let's say AI is humanity's next evolution, not physical evolution, but some type. Let's say AI is our intelligence. Everyone's intelligent. I mean, because it is in a way. I mean, if you look at it in that general sense, and I don't like to look at it this way, because you start getting in some real creepy ideas. I mean, because Nvidia and all of these other companies, Entropic and OpenAI, how they make these AIs, how they make these LLMs, how they design these transformers and things. They take and they scrub the internet. They take all of the data out there. They take my writing. They take Stephen King's writing. They take everything you said on Facebook. They take all the videos you made. The love letters you sent back in whatever, if they're online or whatever. The whole of humans' interaction with everything that is on the internet. That is our conscious. That is our being. What we put in is what it's taking out, and that is the intelligence, the thing that it is creating. It is creating us as a whole in a box.
But here's the flaw in the LLMs. One, it is a predictive algorithm with minimal reasoning skills. So by being
No, not
predictive, all it
anymore.
is.
Not anymore. That is not. See, that is. When people tell you that, and these other things tell you that, that is wrong, because these systems have moved very far advanced. That I mean, they don't even understand them. They don't understand how they work. They just know that we've designed them, we built them, and they're running. I mean, if one of these things break, they don't know how to fix it. They just spin up another one and shut that one down. I mean, that's how complicated they are. When you take and you see a layered transformer, they call it a transformer. When you take a layered transformer, and basically all a transformer is layers and layers and layers of data. And these datas are basically neural pathways, constant neural pathways that float back and forth, back and forth. In the early days, it was predictive programming. In the early days, when you typed out something, this is what you're going to say. But it's not predictive programming when you say when you can take 2 words and say, write me a story from 2 words, and you see something that you would have wrote.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, I have.
I'll
I've seen
try.
it. I've seen it with Grok. I've seen it with these other ones. What was
I
that?
use I've used ChatGPT, Grok. I'm not a big fan of Grok. It's kind of like a lippy teenager. I've done what ChatGPT, Grok, Claude, Gemini, even Copilot. I've used them all, and Claude's the most put together because it's through Anthropic and they're getting government contracts, which means they got to do a better product.
I
But
know
everything
that
else,
they got kicked.
yeah,
They're
they're
not
they're
on.
still cutting edge. Like they are still. I think that they are far ahead as far as their understanding of what it is that they're building than anybody else.
Actually, I don't think so because here recently, like after they got kicked from the government, there was a researcher, um, and they were putting they were getting ready to send out the new model and or go make the model go online,
Mm-hmm.
and they accidentally loaded the source code to GitHub. Um, this is the inside the working structure,
It's the kernel.
the kernel, yeah, or if you want to call it kernel, and everyone that broke it down rebuilt, you know, the software. They were on high alert, went in and tried to try to pull all this stuff down, try to do copyright, try to do all of this other stuff, and when people are broken down, I mean, they just said, basically what you said about the other one. I mean, it's just basically predictive programming. It's not written like these other ones. It borrows and uses, pulls and grabs from, you know, other places. I mean, without the internet, it wouldn't be much of anything. It's just a binary that relies heavily on active streams from other places. But anyway, I mean that could be one of the reasons why, and they actually built versions of it, and you can go out and you can play with it now. You can play with their new version of it.
I
Um,
generally get. Oh, I mean, at least as far as the free version, I did the paid with Chat GPT, and I mean the project folders was pretty much the only thing that was like worthwhile for me. But and I'm just using it for research. I'm not using it for a lot, but it seems to just tell you whatever it thinks you want to hear, and that bugs me. And you got to push back 2 or 3 times in order to get it to actually give you something more realistic. And when you're using free tokens and you can only chat so much, that becomes a roadblock. Maybe that's how they're marketing it to get you to buy it, or maybe something else is going on. I don't know, but it seems like, at least the way I've used it, it's a pain in the ass, and it gives me shit that's outdated or gives me the wrong shit quite frequently. That's why I keep switching between them, because sometimes Claude's really good, and sometimes Chat GPT might actually do something right. But like I've been walked in circles so many fucking times by it that I don't trust them. I use it for research to kind of give me ideas, and then I go do my own stuff. It at least just helps me there.
now I had Claude. Now see, I used to, like I said, I used to be fully against it, and I used to think like most people think, and and think it was predictive and just basically junk. But one day I got real bored. I watched somebody talk about black holes online, and me and my son we talk about black holes all the time. Um, and there's a lot of questions that I've had about them. Like, and I asked Claude to write me a white paper that uses no information currently found on the internet to explain black holes. I wanted a brand new theory. Brand new theory.
Hmm.
and it come up with one, and it come up with a wild one. And I mean, it sounded logical. It was sound, information. It was sound science. And then, a couple days later, I saw there was this huge meeting, this of physicists and stuff, and they were talking about the implementation of AI, and they were basically talking about like black holes and things like that in physics, and they were admitting and bending the knee to AI because they're admitting that this software, this stuff is smarter than them.
Well, yeah, when you've got men that think that they're the smartest men in the universe, I mean, sometimes you challenge their ego and they run real quick. You know, I, I, I'm kind of, I've tried just doing like whole power user type stuff. Hold on. I've tried doing like whole power user type stuff, and like I said, as a power user, it really lacks. I've written a lot to Chat GPT and their suggestion box and stuff like that because when you're trying to do a workflow and use it, the way that you should be using it, it all of a sudden becomes, I don't know, but that's just been my experience. I want it to be short, simple, to the point, and not give me what I want, but give me what it is that I need. And
I
it
mean,
doesn't
I
seem to be
think
able
I
to fit
think you
that.
should I think you should spend a week with it, using it for something that you don't normally use it for.
Okay.
That's what I think you should do. Don't go into it thinking, okay, I'm going to trick it. I'm going to use it for this, or I'm using it for this benefit, or whatever. Go into it to use just for the hell of it. Okay,
I
and that's your homework for this week. Go in there and pick one of them, and use it for whatever. Talk to it. Talk to it like me and you talk. Talk to it however, and then come back
okay.
and then come back and talk to me about it.
Well, if it's something I don't know about or anything else like that, I
No,
say,
not like that. Not like that. I want you to have act like it's your high school friend. I mean, or whatever. Have a conversation with it, and see how freaky things can get. And there are literally people out there that um have become so obsessed with it. Now, if you feel like you're becoming obsessed with it to a point, I need you to stand back. I don't want you to get a break. I mean, but I mean, you can get into it. You can fall into the AI hole, and a lot of people don't realize they can. A lot of people that fall in that hole are the people who think that it's just you know it's predictive programming. I mean, predictive whatever, because they're missing something. A lot of people do miss it, and they fall in that trap. There's
I
something
should
else there.
I should send you some of the conversations that I've got on my Google Docs that I was talking with AI about and stuff like that. It was kind of how I was planning for the apocalypse, and yeah, we had a really that like I've done what you said, but I did this probably a year ago though. A lot's changed in a year.
I mean, I've seen them. There's literally an individual that moved to the desert and started a church for AI.
Yes,
And,
I know.
and he's got followers from Silicon Valley.
Uh-huh. I actually did a segment on that. Yeah, there's it's yeah, they're yeah, AI. Yeah, I was reading something from Meyer about how AI, how they created a religion around it. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. I went and I researched it. I was like, holy shit, this is real. Yeah, and I was like, I sit there and I looked at it, and yeah, you have Sam Altman's, he's big into it, and there's a lot of these big Silicon guys that are into it, and yeah, they basically want to turn over agency and autonomy to an AI overlord that they think just because it's so smart that it should be their ruler and their spiritual leader. Which I mean, I could see some benefit in that because I mean, it might fucking temper us back a little bit, but who knows?
I don't think it's a great idea. I mean, and I mean, coming from just the point of view that if there are individuals, and especially, well, I don't consider anyone in Silicon Valley very, very smart. Okay, I consider them lucky. They are lucky to be to either be around somebody or come up with an idea or whatever at the time, and they were smart enough to use the people around him to create it. Okay,
Yeah,
that
they just truly.
most of these people did not create nothing. They're just faces to a thing. I mean, like well, what's the woman Thanos? Thanos, you know, the woman that supposedly claimed that she created the thing where it only takes a bit of blood and it can tell you everything that's wrong with you. The one that's in prison now. Um,
Okay.
um, yeah, like her. I mean, most of these people are con men and con women that have just not been caught yet. I mean, they're selling through. They're making good money. There are more companies that fail in Silicon Valley than there are that succeed. Or they get eat up by the other ones. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, Silicon Valley's crazy. I mean, and it's full of some very ignorant people that think they're smart.
Yeah, that's generally the way it is.
But what I'm going after here is that these individuals, if there's people like this, and there's other people that are in power that think they're smart, you know, these people might be running something one day, and if they have these kind of beliefs, then this might be the system that we get stuck with. You know, like on the Fallout video game, there's a couple of places on there where the city is being run by a computer AI mayor, or I think one thing there's a president running that's AI. So yeah, I mean I can see it happening. I could really see it happening. Have you ever seen the magazine Strange magazine?
Hold on. Okay, why is
Hmm?
oh sorry, my phone was acting up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So what magazine?
Strange magazine.
I think I watched I think I read it as a kid, maybe. That may have been one of the things that my parents got me a subscription to.
Well, this specific one I'm going on is from October 1st, 1987
Okay.
to from October 1st, 1987 to October 1st, 1988. I'm not sure why that was so important of them to put in there, but they had a strange list from back in the day, and I want to talk about how relevant if we think they're still strange today. How many years is that? 1987 till now.
Mm, that's about almost 40 years.
Okay, let's see if we still find it strange. The first one was Lizard Man.
Mm-hmm.
There was a in South Carolina. There was a highly publicized creature flap of all time, and they talked about the Lizard Man and
Mm-hmm.
the sightings that were happening around the United States back then.
Mm-hmm.
Do we
So
still?
that's where David Icke got his information.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, in modern day now, do we, when 40 years later, do we still consider the Lizard Man strange?
Mm, with as strange as science has gotten, it's now in the realm of possibilities.
That's what I'm thinking. But what if the Lizard Man was alien back then, or maybe a genetic? I think they said he was a genetic mutation of the area. I think they were trying to say that. I think Bishopsville, South Carolina, was somewhere around where they had a nuclear power plant.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I can see that. I've seen the documentary, or not even, I think David Icke and Alex Jones, or David Icke and uh, Jesse Ventura did a show on it. That was yeah. it was very hard for me to follow that. But yeah, there's people that still like have scales and stuff like that. But you wonder if it's implants or if it's actual real, and what causes it.
Yeah, I'm pulling up a picture of it now. That they still have a monument in Bishopsville, South Carolina, to this thing.
Hmm.
It's Lee County's famous reptile back in business. Yeah, there was like a sighting. Apparently the police saw the police sheriff saw this thing.
Mm-hmm.
The young man got out of his car. He shifted. Okay, Chris Davis, a Bishopville teen, on his way home after his shift ended at McDonald's of all places, blew out a tire in his car, and he was on the edge of Scape Ore Swamp. The young man got out of his car, working to change the flat, suddenly heard a sound that almost sounded like someone or something running on the asphalt. Can you imagine, in your situation that you out there and you see one of these things come running after you?
Um, I don't know if Sam would run or stand with me, but I'm not dying on my knees. I'm running. I mean, if I see it, I'm like, okay, motherfucker, I'm gonna meet my baker, but I'm gonna make you feel it. Yeah.
He would
But
he would later describe the creature as standing about 7 feet tall with green scaly skin, red eyes, three toes on each foot. The lizard man, that was the first time the lizard man made his appearance. Apparently, this guy come back. He jumped on the kid's car, denting the roof. This was reported to the sheriff of the town. Gives his name. Davis even took and passed a polygraph test. They didn't believe him. They were like, "You lying? You on drugs?" But
no.
they made him take a polygraph test. They found three-toed footprints in the swamp. I'm not going to South Carolina anytime now.
Mm, I wouldn't. Um. I think you attract it because, like, walking through the swamps and Appalachian National Forest and stuff like that, I thought it was safe as could be. I didn't realize how much danger I was in. That there was an unmanaged bear population, all the bad bears that went from Ocala there. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that I was playing with gators and snakes and shit like that. I just thought it was an empty swamp, and I was walking through, and they put me on a safe spot. I trusted the government. um, but turns out I was actually playing Russian roulette, and I lost.
Yeah, yeah. How much you know about Reagan?
I know a little bit about him. I
Well, did
mean, I was born like within 30 days of his inauguration, and like that's my dad's hero. He's that part of the family on my dad's side. He was the only Democrat that went Republican.
did you know that? Well, I mean, according here in 80 whatever, many Americans were surprised to find this out, and I'm surprised to find this out still to this day. So I still find this strange. But many Americans were surprised to learn that President Reagan's schedule had been determined astrologically, and that Nancy Reagan had a huge reliance on astrology. And she literally
Oh,
mapped out his whole presidential schedule.
wow, really?
Yeah. So I mean,
Well, what was
there
your
was a little bit of magic behind the whole Reagan thing.
well, yeah, and then the whole don't do drugs, dare, and all that other shit. Yeah.
Don't do drugs, but
Um.
magic is fine. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she had to be on drugs to believe that fucking magic. I
Yeah.
mean, there's an influence, but it's not as influential as we like to put it out to be. We put it's like as soon as we can find a way to take responsibility off ourselves and put it onto something else, we immediately do it at the first sign. I'd like to. You ever seen the movie The Recruit?
I don't know. I'm sure I did, but you
It's
know,
with I think like Al
it's in there.
Pacino. it's what he ends up doing is as the kid's going through the interview to get into the CIA, um, they ask him a question: would you rather dance in the rain or feel no pain? And his first answer is dance in the rain because he knows if he chose feel no pain, then it might disqualify him. But as he's walking out the door, he's like, actually, you know what? My real answer is to feel no pain. And I thought that was like, if you really want to look at society and how we've gotten to the where we're at, we live by that philosophy. We would rather feel no pain instead of dance in the rain. And so that's what leads us down all these paths.
Okay. Now, so would we can still consider that weird after 40 years?
No.
No. Okay.
Strange, but not weird.
Strange, but not weird. All right. All right. I'll bite on that one.
What other stuff that was like that's that old that you think we would Oh, remember what about the lady that the lady the couple that got abducted. They're next to like the Meyer case is probably one of the most solid cases. It's one of the first ones that really made mainstream as far as abduction because they lost time. It was a couple
We're
an
getting
old
there.
couple.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Uh,
Yeah, we're getting there. That's number 7.
okay.
All right.
What's number 2?
Reagan was number 2.
Okay.
Number 3 is Japan's Christ.
What?
Yeah, Japan Christ, as in Jesus Christ.
Explain this one.
Okay, I got the picture up on the thing. It's wild, but anyway, a transcript of an ancient scroll in Shingu Village, Japan, claims that Shingu was the final resting place of Jesus after his death at age 106. The chronicles claim that Jesus escaped persecution in Palestine, of all places, and traveled to Siberia, to Alaska, and then by ship to Japan. That's strange. That's some strange shit right there.
Would I consider it weird or strange?
I consider that strange.
I would I would say that's odd. Not weird, but odd.
Now, considering, I don't know how much, like, I mean, this was an old verified document, and it was every bit that old. So, I mean, I always wondered if that at some point in history that there wasn't maybe some dude that had like some kind of weird powers and was able to visit everybody. I mean, I know how that sounds, but
Well, Mormons believe it.
well, yeah. I have no idea what the difference between weird and strange is, but I know we're in it. We're in it. We're in it neck deep right now.
Yeah, that doesn't sound. Considering all the stuff that we found, maybe 20, 30 years ago that would have been like, ooh, that's really weird because it was so far out of the norm. But things come like, yeah, we got the Kardashians. Nothing fucking phases us anymore.
Oh, I agree. I hate the Kardashians. I hate them. I do. I hate them. I hate them so much.
I've never watched them. I just know them as the butt end of just about every joke.
But yet they're still on TV. They're still on the whatever viewing stick we watch now. But I mean, they're still out there. But I mean that's the whole thing. I mean, I wonder if there was some kind of like mass event and like dude went around to everybody. Maybe there really was some kind of entity that went around and tried to spread some kind of good word. I don't know. It's still hard for me to believe. I mean,
are you familiar with the book Jesus in India by a guy by the name of
I am. I read it last year, I think it was, and then I read the thing about the where they learned how to use the singing bowls. I actually got some singing bowls where they could take and ring the singing bowls and make this energy come out of them, and you can with water. But I saw all that. And like, it just goes back to saying, is was the Bible, was the idea, was the concept that popular that everybody had a version of it and everyone was talking about it, or did everyone come to the same conclusion and come up with their own Jesus and named it the same thing? I don't know, but it's still a little weird to me.
Well, it's said that at least if you follow like the whole Jesus in India thing is, yeah, he there was a back entrance to the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea, but he apparently died at the age of 87 in Kashmir, but he could have traveled around, and maybe if he was, because he was supposed to be number five in the line of seven prophets, at least according to Meyer. And so, just like how Meyer gets to travel and do all that other stuff, like, yeah, he may be like, I think he's like 90 something now, but with all the time travel and stuff that he's done, they're saying he's something like around 136, if his true age were given. So I mean, it's very possible that if this were true, then yeah, Jesus or Emmanuel would have gotten the same type of treatment and been able to travel around and meet and greet with other people because he had a mission to accomplish.
Sorry, guys, I had to go get me order some refills. Ugh, my throat's dry. But yeah, I don't know. All right, let's jump off Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's always a touchy subject.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, number 4 happened in Wisconsin. It's called the Hurricane Haunting. Let me try
The what?
the Hurricane. I think I'm pronouncing it right. I'm probably not. Hurricane Haunting. Hor HORICON. Horicon. Yeah, Horicon, Wisconsin. Haunting. Okay, I'm seeing a house. And I'm seeing a weird looking ghost. Alright, that's creepy as fuck. Alright. Okay. Residents Alan and Deborah Talman, along with their 3 children, were reportedly affected by an escalating poltergeist phenomenon for a few months. The last straw for the Talmans came when the thing emerged from the floor in his 1-year-old daughter's bedroom. It was said to be gassy and foggy, locally threatening, with green eyes and flames. There's a picture from that time. It looked like yeah, that's weird.
Okay.
This was a bunk bed. That one of the, yeah, I don't know. This was, I guess any kind of ghost thing was strange or weird to everybody back then.
Okay. You know who Bill Cooper is, right?
Remind me.
He was the competitor to Alex Jones back in the day. He's naval ex-naval intelligence officer. He did a lot of stuff on the JFK assassination. He used to do the Four Horsemen or the Pale Horsemen. You might know that book.
Uh huh.
Yeah, Bill Cooper. But anyways, when 9/11 came around, he kept trying to say that they were all holograms. What if this was practice and we've been kind of being experimented on?
No, holograms now. Yes, holograms then. No,
2001?
no, no, no. I mean that goes to the whole crazy blue. Like when people start talking about the blue beam, the blue beam theory or whatever. I don't think holograms. I don't now. Well, wait a minute. I don't know. I'll say that in a second. But the Talman ghost was one of those that appeared in Unsolved Mysteries.
Huh.
Yeah, it was the spooky story, one of the spookiest, considered one of the spookiest stories ever told. So this one was still weird, provable, and caught national attention back then. Um,
What year?
this was in 1988.
Okay, yeah, I probably would have seen it and not even, I probably wouldn't remember it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, because we used to watch it whenever it came on.
I think this is one of the ones that would have influenced some portion of the X Files, maybe. I mean, this is one of the big ones.
Uh, Dan Aykroyd actually has talked about, if I remember correctly, have you ever heard his thing about meeting the Men in Black when he was doing one of his UFO shows?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and he even talked about what was it? It was Spielberg that did X Files, right? Or who was it that did X Files as far as the director?
Oh, that was no, that was an unheard of guy, unheard of group at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
I it was like a lot of this because apparently there was an actual Mulder at the FBI who had that reputation and everything else like that, and so this was based upon a lot of the stuff, and he was supposedly the one that was that was guiding them along as far as how they did their stories, and every once in a while he'd throw them a bone.
Now I have a book here. It's the X Files. I don't even remember the name of the X Files book I got.
I think it's unredacted.
Unredacted or something. Um, it goes into the details of the uh, like the behind the scenes and like each story and how they went over it. But anyway, the um, it was Chris Carter that come up with the X Files. It was
Okay.
created and it was David, the one that played Mulder.
Mm-hmm.
He like helped with it, and of course you had Anderson and so forth. But yeah, that was they say that there was help there. Now, when you watch, did you get to watch the last X Files, like when they come back? Um,
The movie?
no, they did one last series in what was it? A couple of years ago,
Oh,
actually.
then no, I definitely haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I stopped watching it. What, maybe in the '90s somewhere.
well, I mean, yeah, it went off the air and it was off the air, and they kept threatening to bring it back. Um, if you notice when they're shooting the film, I don't know if I should say this online, but if you notice when they're shooting the show and they're you never really see a whole lot of um, uh, video of the guy that plays Mulder from below the belt.
Really?
Yeah, and you know why?
Oh, what the fuck?
What?
Oh, there's something in the water. Sam, chill.
Might be an alligator.
No, we're in Pennsylvania. There shouldn't be an alligator. Yeah, whatever it is. It might be the geese too. I don't know.
Could be. Hell,
What what kind of wildlife like sea life do we have out here? I
in
mean,
sea life or river life. River,
I don't
river
know. That
life.
thing looked pretty big. It didn't look like an alligator, but it looked like a dog about the size of Sam. I mean, you could see the head popping up and everything.
In the water?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it started to come to shore until I heard Sam start to growl, and then it fucking just turned and went away, and started swimming further down the river. It's swimming upstream. I don't think it would be a beaver.
I mean, yeah, it might be a beaver. I mean, there's definitely beavers. I mean, that would make more sense. American beavers there.
Okay.
Um,
Be about the size of a 60-pound dog, maybe a 30-pound dog.
uh,
That was weird. I haven't seen anything in the rivers since I've been up here. Since I've been, sitting by the rivers, usually it's just logs floating through. But this was an actual creature, so it actually turned and went away. Thank you, Sam. You protected us. You did a good job. You protected us from the gremlin in the water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was either yeah, it was probably a beaver. I mean, I don't think you would have had a, well, no, let's see, that would be 30 pounds. That would be coyotes around 55 pounds.
yeah. I don't think it would have been a coyote.
I don't know. They're
'Cause, I mean,
stinky.
it looked like it was water. Like it was water was its second nature. It wasn't swimming like Sam, but oh,
Yeah,
I don't think it was a
according
coyote.
according to this, they get where was it? About 45 pounds.
Yeah, we when we were in where were we? We were in Missouri, and there was a creek we started to cross, and Sam was gonna go in and get water, but there was three dead coyotes there, and I was like, nope. So yeah, I've got to see them like up close and personal.
Yeah, no, enough of that. But see where were we? Okay, the hunting. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess I can still consider that strange, considering it's not been solved, and you know, it's
I'll give you that one.
yeah, it's
I
still
can see that as strange.
anything that made the that TV show, I would consider strange. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a good show.
it was. I liked it. I mean, too bad. The modern day version of it. It don't really have a guest. That they have it on Netflix, and
Oh really?
it's just sad. It's a real sad show.
Never watch a remake.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it a while back, and I was like, oh god, this is horrible. And I mean, it's got the music too, and anyone that's lived through that and sees that, and they're like, oh god, and you just get you see them do remakes like this and try to make it, you know, whatever. It's just sad. I mean,
The
it's
m-
yeah.
the more technology that they put into these scary movies, the less scary they get. Jason, Freddy Krueger, Pet Cemetery, what was it, Child's Play, Graveyard Shift, all those scary movies, those big scary movies. They didn't have like a lot of technology in them. They were just really good at lighting and setting the suspense to scare you, but people also lived a lot slower life back then too.
Hollywood's beginning to see that. They're really beginning to see that, and that is we're starting to see little bitty changes. And one of those changes you'll see there's a new movie coming out called The Mummy, and not like the mummy that we're used to. This is they actually go on the child horror, and this thing is terrifying. I mean, it is really terrifying. I mean,
Mm.
just from the trailer. I don't want a copyright strike. I would play it on the thing, but of course, I mean, I played other stuff. I don't see why I couldn't play it, but I don't know. It is. I watched it the other day, and it really pulled me in. You guys should go check it out. Um, yeah, it's one of those. And but anyway, the next one is number 5, and it's called Pink Frog Fall. Let that
What?
Pink Frog Fall. FAL. Pink Frog Fall. Like fall out of the sky.
Okay, that's a little strange.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what's the backstory?
Hmm. You ever heard the term raining cats and dogs?
Uh-huh.
Well, in 1987, October 24th, within a 2 weeks period of time, 2 towns were pelted with amphibians on 2 separate occasions. At the time, an unnamed woman told a paper tiny rose colored frogs were coming down in torrential rain near the place called Shroud. They were bouncing off umbrellas, pavement, and hopping off their, numbers by the stream and garden. several pages of unexplained phenomena, a rough guide to special and outline unusual media occurrences. There was people all over this. I mean, governments and everything trying to figure out what in the world was going on and why England, and why places in the United States was getting frogs from South Africa.
Maybe maybe the frogs are hobos.
Well, I mean, they would have had to stayed in the sky.
Hey, those clouds are made of water to begin with.
Yeah, but I mean, can you imagine? I mean, that's. I mean, that it's not.
Nature needed a transport.
I don't know. I mean,
How
I
often
can
has this
see
happened
that
in
with
history?
birds. I can see that with birds, but I can't see that with but yeah, I don't know. That don't make a lot of sense to me, man.
How it's happened in history, hasn't it? I mean, even in like the biblical plagues, that
Well,
some
I
some
mean, they transferred sand. I mean, like every year we get this Sahara sand that flies over, and it turns everything yellow and dust everything. You see it here in the United States. You see it, all the way down to Australia and everywhere else. And I don't. I mean, it can happen. I'm sure it can happen, but I mean, these are extremely weird events. I mean, it seems like you have these huge ass frogs hanging around in the sky, jumping around on clouds, moving across the ocean.
like I said, nature needed a transport. I think if it's happened in history before, then it's a phenomenon. I would say, yeah, it's strange, but it's still a phenomenon. So it's not like you should be scared of it. Just like, wow, that's weird.
But do we consider this a thing that happens in nature, or do we consider this an omen? Do we consider how do we consider? Well, I mean, how do we look at this? Do we look at this the way the old people did, or do we look at this the way
Scientists
modern
would.
scientists would look at it?
I would look at it from a scientific standpoint, just because it takes the emotion and the fear of unknown away, so that you can actually have a logical explanation.
Oh God, there's literally video of this thing happening. This is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, that's wild. All right. Anyway, I don't know how I respond to it. I mean, there was like the case here recently. A bunch of fish fell out of the sky. I mean,
Really?
yeah, yeah. I mean, that was
Did you
around
have
here.
dinner?
Huh?
Did you have dinner?
We didn't, but I mean, I'm sure a lot of cats did.
Why would maybe they needed some fertilizer. Maybe nature does move things around. We just don't see it very often.
Well, I'm sure it does. I mean, that's just how things work. I mean, nature. Nature. I mean, that's the same way with volcanoes, and I think that's the same way with climate change. And a lot of people might argue with me on it, but regardless of what we do to the environment, it's going to happen anyway. At some point, sooner or later, the Earth is going to decide it's time to clean out all the carbon and us with it. We might go back underground again for a while, and that's how it's going to be. Um, but
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, the Earth could be repairing itself. It could be doing like little things like that, things we don't understand, and maybe it requires frogs in 1888. I mean, 1988.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the purpose would be, but it sounds like it's kind of freaky though, to know that nature just like, here, I'm just gonna pick up some fish and I'm like gonna evaporate them up into a cloud, and here we go. Like, how the fuck is this happening? Like, I would like to see it actually, the process of how they get up in there. Or is there some sort of bacteria or something else like that that's going on in those clouds that's actually creating them?
Well, I mean,
And
if they
they're
can
voiding the clouds.
if they can pick up frogs like that, I mean, it seems like they can pick up us.
But it's supposed to be just vapor. That's all it's supposed to be. Vapor that kind of comes together. At least that's what I've read. I mean, but I'm very simplistic on it.
I mean, I don't know how accurate it was, but this was before AI. I watched the video from a pilot took with his phone, and it looks like there's this guy running across the clouds.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it was freaky.
Oh, dude, you're gonna have to send me that one if you find it.
I will. I think I got it on the hard drive here somewhere. But I mean, there's like this dude. I mean, it's like this regular guy. He's like running across the clouds. And I'm like, okay, that's either an angel or he got picked up and dropped off or something. Something weird going on there. I also got the video of that guy. Like after the balloon they shot down, there's another video of a pilot, and they're flying through the air, and um there's another orb or silver thing, and they spot it out the window, and it goes zipping by them. I mean, a few inches close. I mean, it would have took that 747 out of the air.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't fly. Flying scares the shit out of me right now. You don't know what's up there. You have no idea what's up there. It could be man-made objects or it could be aliens. You just don't know, and they don't care. I mean, they're just zipping through up there.
I told a lady today. I said, "Look, definitely afraid of heights, and you want to see me freak out? Put me on a ridge line with a fucking cliff. But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta kind of bear through it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's part of overcoming our fears. And you know, I I try not to let things like that get to me, but yeah, I can see why you would not want to fly. I mean,
Well, I mean,
especially with all these objects and the TSA.
I mean, it's a flying tube that seems to defy all physics that Newton talked about. So I'm not. Mm-mm. No, I'm
Um,
good. I'm good with that.
are you familiar with mathematical equations that are starting to change?
I know the universe, the how we documented and studied the universe based on math. Of course, math is supposed to be the never
Yeah.
changing answer. Yeah, it is changing. Yeah, everything is changing mathematically.
Yeah, from what I understand, is that this is what they're considering, and the hypothesis is that the just like we evolve and the planet evolves, that the universe itself is evolving, and as it finds its flaws in its programming, it's fixing it because of just by running the law for so long that it sees where it's inefficient and through observation and corrects the math problem, which therefore forces us to correct it to fully understand it.
I mean, that would make sense if you look at it from a larger scale. You know, it seems like our math and everything would change if we were like entering a black hole or getting close to one because time would change, physics would change. And I mean we would have to alter the math to we would have to change the math to equate how we still see life. The same way we see life. I mean because every year they have to do mathematical calculations like for GPS and stuff like that, or they'd be way off. Hell, GPS is off to some degree right now because
Uh-huh.
they haven't done calculations and they're actually just got approval. I mean, it's a 10-year-old system to put GPS 3 up in orbit. So, um, but yeah. I mean, there's some crazy calculations that have to go on and be adjusted. Our time is changing.
Do you think that that could be because the universe, let's say it expands for so many trillions of years, and then and then um, it contracts all the way back in itself, and then it recreates the Big Bang and starts over? It's kind of
No,
like, here, let's try this
no,
experiment
I
today
don't.
again.
I honestly think we're on. I mean, and I thought this for a while. I think we're on the outskirts of a black hole. I think
What?
we are in the void of space.
Stop,
If
Sam, stop
oh,
now. Hold on a second.
you're fine.
You quit it. done? Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm back. She's trying to run off with my whole bed.
Uh
Yeah.
oh. But I think we're on the outskirts of, or the edge of a black hole. I think, and I think we have been for some time. We wouldn't know it. We wouldn't see it or understand it. In the way we perceive the internet, the universe, it makes sense because once you look out, you start seeing these things that change, things slow down. You know, there's this huge void between. And I just think we're entering into a black hole. I mean, I think that's always been the case.
Um, Entering into a black hole. Like, okay, what do we know about black holes though? Because we don't really know much.
And it's just well, I mean, that's the thing. We don't. I mean, we know that it's a piece of space that may have been a star that collapsed, and energy is being pulled, and light and everything's being pulled in on itself, and basically we think it's being destroyed. But what happens at a black hole? Everything becomes digitized. Everything becomes, you know, like a picture. Um,
Really? Like, how do we know this?
because how we take a picture, like when we take a picture of it, we see the same thing all the time. I mean, it's just like everything you see, nothing's ever going to change when you take a picture of a black hole. Like it's just the same. I mean, everything is basically digitized there until it goes to a point where it goes through something called spaghettification. We'll go into black. I don't know if I'm the best one to do it, but yeah, we'll try. We'll go into black holes one day, and just remember this concept that I'm saying we're on the edge of a black hole. This can really mess with your mind, and I mean it has with mine a lot. Um, but yeah, we'll touch base on that one day. Just not today, because that's going to be an all night thing, black hole stuff. Um,
There, there is a prediction that one day we will learn to harness power and get unlimited power from these black holes.
I don't see how it's just not. I mean, maybe small ones, maybe tiny ones, stuff like that. And I mean, we could still do so, but it goes back to the concept where I don't think that. Um, now when I say we're on the edge of a black hole, I mean our portion of the galaxy, our portion of the um, our solar system, our outside galaxy. That would be what's going into that outer ring of the black hole, this massive black hole that we can't see because we're so close to. Um, but yeah, like I said, that I mean, and it's the other reason why I don't think we'll ever uh, go into space travel. And I think it's also another reason why we're starting to see more and more interstellar objects fly into our solar system, because something has changed. If you pull up the map of all of the stuff that's coming in and coming out, and everything that is circling around the planet and our solar system, you wonder how is it possible that we're still here? It's crazy. Um,
Well, yeah, that's the miracle. That's why life is so valuable, is because it's very hard to create. It's got to have perfect conditions. That's why and I think that that's our biggest flaw is, like, we fail to realize what you just said, and therefore, we don't see value in the human being just being alive.
I mean, yeah, there has to be a reason why we're not gone yet. I mean, I don't know what that is, but there has to be something that is
We
keeping us here.
we get lucky every few thousand years.
Well, from my math and from this the video, the actual, computer calculations. I could show you. I had it. I posted it on Facebook a while back, and this was during the 3-eye atlas thing. Every object that's within our current, our inner solar system, not our outer solar system, our current. I don't see how we're not hit. I mean, this year alone, there has been like 15, 16 comets. That in itself is unheard of. That's another thing that is a little on the disturbing side. Like, because when you start looking at, like, when they start talking about comets, that comets are the predictors of bad things that are about to happen. And you start going back into some of the old Sumerian and Babylon stuff, where Tiamat and her children are flying through the sky. I don't know. I don't know about that. Anyway, the next one, number 6, is called Electric People.
Electric People, huh? Yeah. Okay, that sounds weird.
Yep. Well, that's the reason it's in the list. Paulina Shaw, a 46-year-old London resident, is full of electricity and has trouble controlling the intermediate powerful discharges that she puts out. She has put out of commission 3 VCRs, a dozen radios, 12 TVs, 10 washing machines, and at least 250 light bulbs.
250, huh?
That was light bulbs, yeah.
But there are people that have this phenomenon about them. That, watches don't work, electrical devices touching them don't work. I mean, there's even a guy that can get spoons to stick to him because he's become like magnetic.
Yeah, I've seen that. But but it raises up and this would probably be for another show too. But it raises up the question: is this like being able to have electricity and being able to make yourself magnetic and being able to stay underwater for long periods of time? Are we seeing a stage in superhumans or some type of evolutionary change that is making us different and preparing us for something that might come?
I would say more like an evolution thing. Because we're always ever changing, ever evolving. So eventually,
But I would say that's still, I would still call that strange though. That's still up there with spontaneous human combustion.
I wouldn't call it strange. I would call it annoying. Because it would suck if everything you touch is fucking.
My 3 VCRs, a dozen radios, 12 TVs, 10 washing machines, and 250 light bulbs. I mean, you literally think about it. You walk under a light bulb and a bolt of energy pops from your head and takes it out.
Okay, I'll give you strange on that. I mean, it's a little bit entertaining. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I'd like to see it, but that's definitely some strange stuff there. But that was a verified case. Now we get to number 7. You're talking about the UFO thing. That was the Knowles, Knowles UFO car case. Members of the Knowles family were driving through. This one was Western Australia, right?
No, the one I was talking about, I thought it was an American case, and it happened in like the 60s or 70s.
Oh, that may be older then. This is the one where they claim to have sighted an X-shaped UFO The glowing object chased their car, allegedly lifted the car, shook it violently, leaving the car in blown out tires and covering the car in ashes. That was another one of those cases that was on um, the show I was talking about earlier. Shit, can't think of it now.
Unsolved mysteries.
Yes, Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, I remember hearing because there's a big thing that was going where people's engines would be shut off when they come into contact with them.
Well,
And that was
well,
the one the couple that were coming back, they were an elderly couple, they were coming back, their car basically died, they lost time, and then they did like memory repression or to pull out their memories to figure out what happened, and that's how they discovered that they'd been abducted.
I don't know. How do you feel about memory regression or repression
I
or re?
I think it's false.
I do too. I do
I
too.
think it's suggestive, and our mind is very creative if we allow it to be.
Mm. I mean, I think that maybe these UFO whatever people kind of implanted in people's heads, and they kind of thought about it.
Well, the mind, we still haven't even tapped into how powerful the mind is and how much of our reality it actually creates. Because I wonder what you see in your eyes, because I'm thinking I see something completely different. I think, there's some commonalities, but I think that we still have variations of reality. It's kind of like oh, there's a guy that was talking about. It's kind of like we're all in our own bubble, and sometimes our bubbles kind of intersect, and we see similar things, but we're seeing different things because we're on different paths doing different things.
I mean, I do agree with you there. I mean, I agree with you that. I mean, I think I've always thought that. I wondered what if other people you know think the way I feel. I mean, think the way I think, or if they process information the way I process. If you know hell, I mean, when I get high, I wonder. I've always asked people, like, can you feel your legs? Do you know your legs are there even when you're not? And, I mean, shit like that. I mean, I wonder how people process certain things. I've always did, and how you see the world and how you feel and experience the world is how you project and see your society. I mean, not society, but your reality. I guess it would be your society too. Um,
Yeah, but how much of that is are they seeing you? Okay, so you and I, we see each other, right?
yeah.
But I see you the way that my reality allows me to see you. But how much of that is you, and how much of that is the image that I need to see to be able to go down this storyboard that I'm on?
Okay. Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of people that kind of like falsify certain information to make them. You see it in relationships a lot.
Yeah, even but the mind, like how much of the mind is actually doing this in a subconscious, almost like a pre-programmed way? Like
Okay.
it's beyond you and my control. It's part of the mechanics that makes us what we are for whatever purpose we're here on Earth for.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've wondered the same thing. I wondered. It's. I think that's one of our biggest drawbacks as people. We kind of maybe that's probably what makes us self conscious. We wonder how people perceive us.
Um, yeah, because we have to keep our social fabric for survival. We're not really meant to survive alone.
No, no, no. We always need to like borrow something to fix one another, or keep ourselves pushing along, or make ourselves feel better, or make ourselves feel whole. Yeah, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
How did we get on that subject?
We were talking about the UFOs and aliens in Australia.
Wow, that's a heavy jump. Okay. Okay, 8. um, UFOs are not weird anymore. I just can't throw that anyway. Anyway, number 8, winning lotto dreams. A New Jersey resident, Michael Gabriel, okay, says his daughter came to him in an eerie dream less than a month after she passed away and told him to play lotto. He won 10.5 million the next day with the numbers on the tickets found in his 23-year-old deceased's car, daughter's car. Now, I'm going to go on a limb here and say that is legitimately possible. I I know people. Now, I don't know about visitations from other people, but I know people. They have had dreams, and they have dreamed up lottery numbers. They have went and played them, and they have won. Or they would, call me up or tell somebody, hey, look, I had a dream about this. I just think, whatever. And they wouldn't go play. They should have played because they would have won. And I mean, I know a lot of cases like that. And I kind of wonder, you know, if something is not trying to, you know, change our fate a little bit.
Um, I think that yeah, we have touches of clairvoyance. I mean, that's why the military was able to test for psychic ability. Everybody has a little bit of psychic ability, and it comes random because we don't know how to control it. It's those that have a higher accuracy rate that makes it to where they're actually clairvoyant or psychic or whatever you want to call them. But I think we all have a hint of it, and it's there for I think more for our survival, or because it's something that we truly desire and it comes to us in that way as long as we can interpret it properly. Because I mean, dude, there's stories all throughout history, even in religious texts, about how important dreams are and the symbology of it.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of wonder if you know if we are seeing the future, putting it together, and telling ourselves, or something is coming to us in dreams and telling us these things.
I
I
always
just don't
have
know.
dreams about my breakups. Every time I have a breakup, I always have a dream about it a couple of weeks prior.
I don't think that's future premonition. I think you just know that it's going to happen.
No, I was caught off guard a couple of times. Like, really? And then when it happened, I was like, oh, wow, okay, so that's what the dream was trying to tell me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, like one of a girl I broke up with, or that broke up with me in high school. It was almost like I got to experience the whole breakup and then go re-experience it.
Hmm.
And I didn't understand why then, but then once I went through, I was like, okay, now I understand.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to call that one strange anymore. All right. Um, number 9, ghost boat. The
Ghost boat? I've
ghost
heard
boat.
of that.
Yeah. The Reverend Thomas Willis, an exorcist of buildings for the Diocese of York in England, was called upon to rid the 635-foot trawler Pickening of its haunted presence. The trawler had a history of strange happenings in cabins
Hmm.
and would freeze up and work the heating system, flashing lights, the radar systems would go haywire. I guess, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wonder whatever happened to the boat. Now, okay,
Yeah, I'd be curious. But a
now,
whole boat that was haunted?
the whole boat was haunted. But I mean, there's plenty of cases like that. You can go around the United States and there's all these old cruise ships and stuff that had um, cases like that. Yeah, that's not that strange. I can see it being strange then, but that's not that strange now. It's pretty
Yeah.
common.
Yeah. I'll go with you on that one.
Now the last one is supposed to be, well, actually won the Hard to Believe Award in 1988, and it
Really?
was Elvis is Alive.
They've been saying Elvis is alive for decades.
Yeah, but this one was a little bit different. This was the Elvis Lives rumor peaked with a release of a book, Is Elvis Alive, by Gail Brewer. I can't pronounce that name. And it
Mm.
accompanied a cassette tape. Now, I've never seen this. It accompanied a cassette tape containing a secret message from the supposed dead pop singer.
Huh. I think that she was just playing on the crowd.
Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
if you did that now, I mean, they'd be all over you.
Yeah. Well, now pretty much everybody still believes Tupac's alive. They believe that most of these presidents like are body doubles and all this other stuff. Like, there's so much conspiracy around that now. It's almost like a dime a dozen. It doesn't even hit the radar anymore.
I actually think we're starting to have some internet issues here.
What's going on?
Everything's slowing down and locking up.
Mm. How long you ran your computer without restarting it or giving it some time to cool down?
Hey, it got restarted today. I don't know. I think
Oh, okay.
it's yeah. I think it's just the net, sort of weird. Like I said, I'm on a mesh network. I mean, the computer's running fine, but I can now monitor the stream and stuff, and it's acting a little weird. Hopefully, it should be fine.
You doing a direct connection or Wi-Fi?
It's mesh, so it's like, I guess the closest thing you can call it would be Wi-Fi, but it's like Wi-Fi 7. I mean, it's like the new stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So,
Oh.
well, we're done with that one. You need to take an intermission. I need to take an intermission.
Actually, I think it's yeah, I think it's time that I kind of head off to bed. So, because yeah, like I was telling you earlier, like um, I only got like 90 minutes sleep. So I think I'm finally getting tired. I think I'm ready to get to bed now.
All right, man. Go take a bed. I mean, go take a bed. Yeah. Go take a nap. And everyone that's still in here, I need to go use the bathroom and smoke. I will be back in 5 minutes.
All right, I will talk to you tomorrow.
All right, man. Be good. Be careful.
You too.
When I get back, we'll go over the Coachella and the eBay. Almost done. All right. I'm back. I had a good dose of nicotine. I got me some coffee. I think I'm good for a little bit. Was that a solid hour and 40 minutes or 50 minutes? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So now I guess we'll shift gears and we'll go to Coachella. Everything I saw, people have been saying that Coachella this year has felt dark. Of course, there in Burning Man, people said that Coachella felt dark. I've never been to Coachella. I don't think I would ever go. But I got some TikTok videos queued up, and I thought we'd go over them. And I saw somebody watching and talking about them. So I don't know. Let's check them out.
Okay, you guys, Coachella thoughts. It is officially fully over, and I have gone to Coachella 6 times. This Coachella felt like oversold. I've never seen Coachella this crowded, and I was at Coachella when Beyonce performed. This Coachella felt really like, dare I say, in some ways unsafe, because I made a video earlier about this, but like Heineken House is in this area that kind of corners people, and then it's just like not as flowy. This year also, I kind of predicted this with like Cat's Eye performing. Not that it's like fully Cat's Eye, but there were a lot of young people, like fully just high school students in a way that I've never seen before. And they're just young, like they just don't know necessarily like the way crowds are supposed to work and how to like keep everyone safe. The performances were honestly kind of underwhelming, except obviously Slater. But like a lot of the performances just felt really like there were technical difficulties and people couldn't go on at the right time. Like I loved watching Carol G, but she was like 30 minutes late, and I think it was because of the wind maybe. But yeah, this year, like I honestly was walking back and I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna go to Coachella again unless I'm like getting paid like good money to be there, and I have like a car arranged for me, because getting in and out of.
That's another thing. It seems like Coachella's just full of influencers and people, that either max out their credit cards or they're like super rich. I don't know. I mean, I heard somebody saying they dropped $32,000 in there. That's crazy.
Out of all the Coachella storylines, the one that interests me the most has nothing to do with the music or the performers. It's the Gen Z zombies in the crowd who are not singing and dancing along with their favorite artists. They are just mindlessly staring at the stage while filming like statues who are being controlled by like a hive mind. Watch this clip of Sabrina Carpenter and Madonna performing and tell me that the crowd is not like an episode of Black Mirror where everyone's had a lobotomy and now it's The Walking Dead. And this is during Like a Prayer, one of the most well-known sing-along songs ever, and you'll just see a sea of people just standing like statues, blindly staring. You got the millennial girls dancing and singing while these kids are just human tripods set up to hold their phone. And no, this is by no means a new phenomenon, but this is maybe the most jarring example I've seen of this behavior. Because there are certain takes in this world that start out as, oh, you're just the old man yelling at the cloud, and then you're actually totally vindicated. This is one of those examples. Like, this is the modern world. Everyone is going to have a phone, and they're always going to be on their phones from now until the end of time. Like, anyone who came prior to the smartphone revolution sees this behavior as very unlikable. I used to think to myself, like, okay, boomer, get over it. These kids are on their cell phone, they're filming for social media, and this is the way of the world. But enough time has gone on, and now there's enough footage and examples of this behavior where I feel vindicated. Like, I'm not just the old man yelling at the cloud anymore. I'm right. Anything happened with hip-hop. I'm a huge rap fan, and I was like, anything past 2012, I can't.
All right, guy. Yeah, I agree with you.
Something weird happened this weekend, and it's also kind of sketchy. Have you heard of the Coachella? It's a music festival in Southern California, somewhere near Palm Springs. It took place this last weekend, then it goes on again next weekend. The Justin Bieber and that Selena Carpenter performed there. It's a place where a lot
I think dude's missing a tinfoil hat. I mean, that's the way I would be on there.
of influencers go to hear music and to be seen. Well, something bad and kind of sketchy happened there this weekend. So I guess when you buy your tickets, which are not cheap, you get bracelets or whatever that say what area you get to be in. There's general admission, VIP, whatever. There's a whole bunch of different levels. And there's a reseller's market for this. Some people buy a ton of bracelets very early on, as soon as they go on sale, and then resell them right before the event. And for security's sake, most of those bracelets get resold on the official Coachella website. So that's the place where most people buy them. Well, this weekend, something bad happened. Because a lot of people who bought those reseller bracelet passes off the Coachella website itself found out they were forgeries. They were fake, and they weren't allowed in. Yeah, they said your bracelet's no good, you can't come in. Even though they bought them right off the Coachella website itself. And they didn't get a refund. I saw a bunch of people who had this happen to them make videos about it. And when I saw a couple of those videos, there were hundreds and hundreds of people in line trying to get refunds for those counterfeit bracelets.
Wow. Yeah, look at that. That's crazy.
Who was doing hallucinogenics, and like that was a conversation that was being had next to these like toddlers that were playing. But the amount of babies I saw in strollers being pushed through a cloud of dust. It's not okay. It's not okay. And I'm sorry if this is controversial. No, I'm not sorry. This isn't controversial. Bring back public shaming. Like, bring back public shaming for things like this, because it's like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you to A, where you can't take a year off of Coachella because you just had a child within the past year or within the past 2 years, whatever. You can't take a year off. You have to bring your child to Coachella. You could afford VIP tickets.
I agree. That's not a place for kids.
Like, no shade, when are we going to really talk about the fact that Coachella is literally dystopian? You're literally having all these poor people that just want to dance, people that are actually going there for the actual events, camp out in these tents in the middle of a hot fucking desert while dust and everything's blowing out the, you give them bare necessities. Meanwhile, you're bringing all these influencers who quite frankly don't know the artists, and you're putting them up in luxury,
What the happened at Coachella this year? Here are the 4 strangest moments you couldn't miss. It's real. People who were there said the whole place felt demonic, and the worst part is that many people actually left the festival scared. First, there's this strange illness no one believed at first, but that ended up affecting everyone again. Almost everyone who went to Coachella got sick, but this time it's a real cough that lasts for a long time, as if something specific was in the air making people stay longer. And at the very beginning of the festival, someone filmed this terrifying video where you can clearly see what looks like a portal flying over the tents before anyone even arrived. No one had ever seen anything like that, especially at a festival like this. Among all the artists who performed, the well-known Sway Lee made a demonic face that terrified his fans. His face literally transformed. Some might say it was just the lighting, but something darker definitely happened there. We've also seen many videos of people running to get out of the festival. They wait a whole year to be there, but end up running away once they realize what kind of place they stepped into. This year was actually calmer than last year's edition. I already made a video about it, and everything that happened back then felt even more demonic. They were lucky it wasn't worse this time. The fuck happened at Coachella that...
Yeah, I don't know, guys. But that thing, yeah. I don't think I'll ever go to Coachella. Or Burning Man, for that matter.
Yeah, don't ever go to Coachella. Never again.
Yeah, we'll touch more on Coachella tomorrow.
I'm programming another structure on Blender.
I really want to hear the stuff about the eBay's Most Haunted. We'll cover a few of them. One of the ones was The Hands That Resist Him. And it is a painting that sold, what was it? I got tossed off topic. Where is it? It's supposed to be on here. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's this painting right here. And it's sold on eBay. Yeah, by Bill Stoneman, 1972. The painting gained notoriety in 2000. eBay listed that claimed to be haunted, spiking a viral legend. I have seen this painting, and I think it was at a Goodwill. I don't know if it was a remake. Yeah, there it is. Alright, this guy's creepy. Super creepy. Have you guys ever bought anything creepy off eBay? I mean, we have gotten a lot of strange stuff. I mean, um, trinkets, uh, religious artifacts, things like that. It was, I don't know, it kind of become an obsession there for a while. I guess the same way people have an obsession with Amazon. eBay sort of kind of opened that door and that connection with with things. Uh, I remember back when the Jewish box, the Dupac, whatever you call it, box, and it got passed around from hand to hand. That one itself turned out to be fake, but there are real ones out there, and people have tried to capture spirits and things. And I remember seeing a ghost in a jar. Um, I think that you know yeah, that's right. There was another item. It was the haunted brawl. Did you guys ever see that when it popped up on eBay? Um, yeah, I have a show coming up here soon where I go into like hardcore detail of all these haunted items and the histories behind them and the people that sold them. And there's still a few that I'm trying to track down and see who has. And um, anything that has been confirmed fake, I probably won't go over unless you guys want me to. I will. I mean, but I don't know. There's a lot of personal artifacts out there people have gotten. They have talked about. If you guys have gotten any kind of freaky stuff from eBay, I'd like to hear about it. You know. I think we got canceled. No. That was weird. Sorry, y'all. We're having we're having weird internet issues here for some reason, and it seems to be when I'm starting to talk about the eBay stuff. I may have to pull the plug and call it a night. I hope not. Yeah, I think I will. I got knocked off right then. Yep. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain such as viewers and extreme buffering. Yeah, there's something going on with the internet, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. 2 hours is not bad, is it? I mean, anyway, what we will pick up eBay's Most Haunted tomorrow. And I have some more Coachella stuff. I just didn't want to go over. I don't know. I started watching that stuff and got a little freaked out. Things started messing with me here. Anyway, stay safe, stay paranoid, and stay away from large